All right, what's up? I don't have a lot of time. I wish I had more time, but I want to record this video. I remember I was in a session with this client. We've been working together for some months. She lost a lot of weight. She was having a lot of success. And I remember in this particular session with her sharing with me how much easier things have been, like more recently. Like she wasn't expecting to not have an appetite for the junk food she used to have an appetite for. She wasn't expecting to start getting better sleep and actually looking forward to going to bed on time and having more energy and things like that. And I remember her saying this thing to me. I remember her saying how, you know, we're working with me, how she realized that she didn't have to carry all the baggage and extra emotional weight that she was carrying for all those years. And that was like the real essence of her success, we could say. And when she said that, I remember it crystallized in my mind that the most weight that you'll ever lose is letting go of that story that's causing the weight gain in the first place. What we need to understand is we all go through shit and we deal with it differently. And a lot of us deal with our issues by numbing it with snacks and just sitting around and just kind of numbing us, just kind of moseying through life, right? Just because we're trying to suppress all these different things and ignore all these things that are bothering us. And when we go through situations, it has a physiological effect on our bodies, right? Which means certain hormones is being produced or inhibited. Certain neurotransmitters is being produced and or inhibited. And this, in many cases, this has a direct cause on our health journeys or our weight loss journeys and things like that. A very common example, but not common enough. When we go through something traumatic that causes what? Stress. And when we have stress, what tells us that we're stressed is the cortisol that's produced in our body. So our body produces what's called cortisol, right? I'm gonna just abbreviate because I don't have a lot of time. Cortisol does two things: one directly, one indirectly. Indirectly, it makes us want to seek out dopamine. Okay, the easiest way to get dopamine for most of us, the most probable, likely way we're going to go about seeking out dopamine. Not saying this is going to happen 100% of the time, but most of the time we're going to seek out dopamine by going for our favorite treats, our favorite snacks. Just notice all the times in your life when you had like a hard day at work, a stressed day at work, pay attention to what you eat towards the end of the day. Pay attention to what you start wanting to eat after 2 o'clock in the afternoon, especially as it gets later in the evening. Also, pay attention to the quality of food, especially like when you are trying to be healthy, right? Pay attention to the quality of food from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. That has to do with ATP, which is a willpower molecule, but that's another video for another time. But we seek out dopamine by going for fattening foods. Okay, I'll just put FF for fattening foods. That's what cortisol indirectly causes us to want to go eat fattening foods. Directly, it instructs our body to store body fat, especially in this section right here. It's the facts. Okay? Also, when we are in this state with cortisol being produced for a prolonged amount of time, it compromises the integrity of the signaling of our serotonin and our dopamine, which is neurotransmitters or hormones that make us feel better, give us self-esteem, make us feel rewarded. We don't be feeling that. We just feel more stressed, so we keep seeking it out, right? This is a physiological battle that we're having. And also, this continues to degrade the quality of our gut bacteria, our gut brain. That has a lot to do with our appetite. As a matter of fact, 90% of the serotonin in your body is produced actually in your gut. Okay, gut bacteria. So once we understand that and we address it for more of this way, that gives us a better advantage. And having an advantage is like that's the thing. Having an advantage is the difference between those who succeed in anything or fail at anything, let alone the weight loss journey. Okay, so for example, an advantage is something that works as like binary. There's not really a gray area, right? You either have an advantage or a disadvantage. So if you're on a weight loss journey and you're looking to get more healthy, and your gut bacteria is causing you to have an appetite for refined carbohydrates, which is to say for sugar, high sugary foods, sweets and snacks and processed foods, would you consider yourself to be at an advantage or a disadvantage if you went on a weight loss journey compared to the person whose gut bacteria uh, does not cause an appetite for that? Their gut bacteria causes an appetite to want to eat fruit in abundance, drink a lot of water, only consume complex carbohydrates, which is like brown rice and oatmeal and things like that, not white flour and pancakes and Wonder White bread and shit. Okay, who's at an advantage? Who's at a disadvantage? Even just bringing it outside of like the weight loss world. Going to the NBA, we'll say we have one person who is 5'9". We have another person who's 6'9". The 5'9" person, are they at a disadvantage or an advantage compared to the 6'9" person? Right? Doesn't mean that the 5'9" person can't make it. We have a couple people in the NBA who made it, but they was at a huge disadvantage. They had to make up, and it was so much harder for them compared to the 6'9" person. Good example. I won't necessarily say who it's about, but it's this kid, right? Young man, just starting high school. He's already 6'7". Never really played basketball before, and it's like his basketball isn't his favorite sport. When he set foot in that high school, the coaches was like, "Yo, if you just play for us, we'll automatically put you on JV." So in high school, well, just in case you don't know how the sports work, there's varsity, which is the top level. Then there's junior varsity, which is the second top. Then there's sophomore, then there's freshman. 4 levels. They offer them the second highest level just for trying, even though he ain't ever played basketball. Meanwhile, basketball was my favorite sport, and I put in hours of practice. But I was a little bit shorter than average. I was at a disadvantage, and I still wasn't able to make the team because my grades wasn't good enough and my talent wasn't good enough to supersede my grades. The kid I'm talking about, the 6'7", had an advantage over my 14-year-old version of myself or any other 14-year-old version who was my height. You know what I'm saying? It's all about advantage. As a matter of fact, the only reason why you are here today is because your ancestors either inherited or acquired by any means necessary the necessary advantages to continue to survive and thrive. This is like life is all about having the advantages to go to the next level. Without it, you die off. If your gut bacteria is causing the appetite of refined carbohydrates, so you continue to consume that because it doesn't even feel natural to not consume it because you have these urges, and then eventually that leads to some type 2 diabetes and you die earlier, then it's genetic. So you pass it. What's genetic is the predisposition to it, not the disease itself. And you're not even passing down the knowledge and wisdom on how to manipulate that situation, how to manipulate your physiology so you can have an advantage. What happens to your lineage over time as those who do have the advantage? You know what I'm saying? And we can't have an advantage without a proper plan to acquire that advantage. See, some advantages we're born with, some of them we can acquire, some of them we can even buy, or some of them we can spend money on to improve the probability of us having that advantage, right? Like some advantages we can't help. Like I'm a black man, couldn't help neither one of them. I didn't choose that. A man gives me advantages in most areas in society, at least in the country I live in America. Being black gives me disadvantages in many areas, depending on it, but some areas it gives me an advantage as well. So I'm saying all this to say, don't embark on a journey without doing what's necessary to acquire every advantage possible so that you can succeed. And you need a plan, some structure. You need to know. So I remember my mother's boyfriend was who taught me how to play chess. In the very first chess game I ever played, which was against him, he made his move, I made my move. He made his move, I made my move. He made his final third move, checkmate. He beat me in 3 moves. How was he able to do that? Because he had a plan. And he had a plan that worked because he actually knew how to piece his move. I didn't even know how to piece his move yet. He was still teaching me. So how could I even come up with a plan if I don't even know the rules of the game? Many of y'all been trying to come up with plans to lose weight. You don't even know the rules of the game. Many of y'all haven't even heard of GLP-1. Oops. Until Ozempic and Moreno got popular recently. I've been talking about things like GLP-1, neuropeptide YY, and leptin for years because I already knew how the pieces moved. I knew how the game worked. And since I knew that, I was able to formulate an effective plan to help others, including myself. Like these are things I learned when I helped myself. This is how I was able to lose 60 pounds in 60 days. This is how I was able to lose over 80 something pounds altogether and reverse my high blood pressure and my pre-diabetes and my high cholesterol. I knew how the pieces moved. You gotta know how the pieces move first before you can even come up with a plan to acquire the advantage. So I can manipulate my physiology and my gut bacteria to make it feel natural. People always say, yo, you so disciplined for going vegan. No, it just feels natural. Now it's hard for me to eat a double cheeseburger, knowing what I know about it, now feeling how I feel about it, thanks to how I manipulated my physiology to do so. Imagine being able to actually enjoy the foods and activities that will make you healthier and fitter and reverse whatever ailments you have going right now, and to get rid of that back pain and that joint pain. Imagine having the desire to genuinely get pleasure out of the things that would help you, and you actually will feel some disgust to the things that you know are working against you, even though you love them now, even though you get pleasure out of eating the ice cream now, you get pleasure out of eating that fried catfish now. Imagine if you could be disgusted by it, which would allow your body to heal and allow you to take your health and fitness to the next level. You could do that with the right plan to acquire that advantage. This isn't a. Let's see how much time we got left. Okay, let me wrap this up now because I have a whole lot more to say. But before I go, I just at least want to let y'all know about this. If y'all want to really dive deep into what I'm talking about and actually start to apply it and put it into practice, I strongly suggest y'all go to blackandmore.com. I'll put it on the screen somewhere, or go to linktree.com/blackandmore. I'll put it on the screen somewhere you can go to and sign up for my 3-day challenge. Sign up for that 3-day challenge. This 3-day challenge, when you immerse yourself in this environment, it will change your life. Like when I went on my journey, I went on a 3-day fast. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the experience that I had that kickstarted my journey and was able to last in a healthy way. I want to give you that experience. I'm giving you that experience in that challenge. So take this opportunity and join that challenge. Whether you do the general or the VIP, with the VIP, you get to ask questions and you actually get to keep the recording. So just in case you're late or whatever, you just want to go back and re-experience it again for whatever reason. If not, make sure you're there on time because everything's gonna be live, and once you miss it, you miss it. Go sign up for that. I'm telling you, it's gonna really change the game for you. But I gotta get ready to go out of here. So I'll check you on the next one. Hope this helps somebody out there. Peace.